Hello and welcome to today's episode on IAE. So, we just arrived at the Tobin Centre. I remembered to start recording when I arrived today. Now, I have already been getting a few glitches, so I'm hoping this isn't a sign. I've definitely been getting some frame drops though, so you might need to bear with me on that. I am doing the best I can with my current rig. Oh, there goes the frames. Where's the floor? Oh, thank God. Right, so we've got Drake today, and my system is really not liking having the Drake ships here. Now, I remembered something after posting yesterday's video. I was talking about Drake being like pirate ships, and I said their small starter ship was the Cutty, which is wrong. It's the Cutter, and a Cutter is actually a type of vessel pirates would have used. Anyway, we have all three cutters here. So this is the starter one, basic cutter. I have flown this one. It's basically a shuttle. That's really what it is. So you've got a little bit of cargo space here. One door open. Thank you. Small living quarters here, so you've got your bed and shower. Some components. And then through here is the cockpit. So you jump in the seat and it zips up there so you get a heightened view. Now over here we have the Scout, which has more sensors, so you can see the sensor dish up on top. They all have slightly different engines as well. That big beastie is the Caterpillar. That's Drake's heavy hauler. Just about the only one of their ships that doesn't have a pirate themed name. And you've got the Rambler here. So this is like an expedition one, so it's like an explorer one. So it's the long range version of the cutter. Yeah, expedition. Now this one's a kind of asymmetric ship. So you've got this pod like structure here. That'll have like your living quarters and the bridge. And then you've basically got cargo pod, cargo pod, cargo pod, cargo pod, cargo pod, cargo pod, cargo pod. Just miles of cargo pods. It's not functional yet, but these platforms eventually will be able to drop down to ground level for loading. So at the moment you have to use like tractor beams to get stuff up there. At least I don't think they're working yet, are they? Yeah, button just showing open or close. But let's see what we've got over in halls 4 and 5. Does Drake have enough ships to use all the halls? No, but they are using this side. Perfect. Now, a couple of days ago I ran into a hologram of a ship and I said it was competing with one of the Drake ships. And there she is in the background. Oh, here's the other Drake ship that I always forget about that isn't named after a pirate theme. The Herald. This thing is a data runner, essentially, you can think of. So it's like a smuggler ship, but for smuggling data. Come on, open the hatch. Open the door, I want to get in. Is there a hidden button lower down I'm not seeing? Oh, there's basically a small interior. Essentially this ship is... Oh look, the hatch finally worked. Oh, because somebody's coming out. Or threatened to anyway. Essentially this ship is one of the fastest in the game. Massive, massive engines. Teeny tiny ship. So in a straight line this will outrun pretty much anything. Even some of the racers. In fact I think it'll probably outrun all the racers. Its engines are bigger than most of the racer ships. This is Drake's little light fighter, the Buccaneer. So weapon is a turret mount on top and a little bit under the wings. So you've got a gun on either side and a couple of little rockets and the turret up top. This is their big showstopper. So these huge wings, this is one big wing on this side that folds down. On this side it's actually two smaller wings that fold down into a sort of like a Y shape almost. So you'd have one sort of diagonally up there and one diagonally down there. And gives it this very off-center look. It's a big ship, it will take a while to tour around, so I'm not sure I'm going to do that today unless the rest of the tours are quite short. If we've got time we'll come back and have a look. That's one of the ships I might rent out in those final days, when you can rent everything and just go for little tours. I have flown a Corsair, but not a lot. So I've never flown the Cat. Right, let's see what we have in this room. This has to be the Cutlass series, right? Yeah, Cutlass, 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 and the Vulture. The Cutlass is one of the most popular ships, particularly the Cutlass Black. Now remember the Nomad yesterday? This is like its competitor. It's slightly bigger, it's slightly better at everything. I don't particularly like the styling. In fact, about the only Drake ship I kinda like the look of is the Corsair. The rest of them are a bit meh. I mean, if somebody handed me one of these and said, here, you get to keep it, I wouldn't say no. But I'm not exactly going to go running out and grab one, you know? So, this one's basically your cargo runner variant. So this is your crew quarters. 2 bunks. And then pilot, co-pilot. And there is a turret. So you can technically have 3 people in here, but there is only 2 beds, so somebody's hot bedding. Now this will be the red. This is the Medivac one. Yeah, so this is basically the ambulance model. So in the back where the cargo bay is in the black, this one has a small medical facility. So you have a smaller cargo area and then 2 medibeds. We'll get back to the Vulture in a little bit. That is your single person salvage vessel. And I mean like actual salvage, like tearing hull material off of derelict ships levels of salvage. So we've got the blue. This is the police stroke bounty hunter model. It actually has the red and blues. So you see them like here. It does have a siren. I believe the red does too. So you can roleplay as being a cop. So again, small cargo area, and then through here you've got the holding pods. Or the coffins as I call them, because I mean look at these things, they are fricking coffins. Like you better be unconscious in one of those things, because woof. And then, oh yeah, this is the, what colour did they give this one? Steel. This one's the gunship model, you know, like a sort of helicopter gunship, but you know, like, it's a dropship really, but it's got the miniguns mounted on the side here, so you'd have like gunners basically guarding doors. So the idea of this one would be to drop troops and then provide aerial support. So in this one, you lose the cargo, like entirely lose the cargo for all these seats, and essentially you'd land, open the doors, you'd have gunners operating these guns to shoot at folk to cover as the other people exfiltrate and go assault whatever mission you're assaulting. And then everything in the front of that door is the same in all the ships. Now, we have the Vulture. A lot of people have compared this one to like farm machinery. It does have that sort of industrial feel. So this is the actual salvaging section. So you've got the bits at the front that are like combination tractor beams and scrapers for doing the hull scraping, and then it's got the magnetic rails that essentially pull stuff in for the muncher. Where's the door? There should be a door here, right? Okay, just teleported through the glass. That's a bit of a glitch, but whatever. And then we'll pop out of the seat and here we go. So you have a small living space, a shower room, bed, tiny bits of storage, and sort of all your engineering stuffs. Again, that's not in the game functional yet. So this is where, like, if you're doing hull scraping, it packs it in here into like a standard container unit, which then moves out onto the storage grid here. You can also use this terminal and make certain little things that you can collect there. But yeah, not a lot to see in this ship. Now that should be everything upstairs, so it'll be time to go and head downstairs. Now I do know what at least one of the holograms will be downstairs if there's more than one. Because there's been a hologram the last couple of years for these guys that a lot of people are really looking forward to coming to fruition. We'll discuss it more when we get there. Where's the stairs? Ah, there. So that guy wearing the Halloween mask, the Vandul mask. I've got a couple of Halloween masks, I've got different ones though. So here, yep, we've got the bikes. So this is the Dragonfly. Dragonfly Black? Huh. Did they make new models? Now if I remember rightly, when you sit on the back seat of the Dragonfly, you're actually like facing backwards, but I think that might be a different model. It seems to be, if you go on Dragonfly Black, it seems to be suggesting there's more than one model. So what's over here? This should be the mule. Yeah. So this is essentially a forklift, so it's got these little forks that drop down and can take a standard cargo unit. You can also store a standard cargo unit in the back. I had one of these, the forks didn't work, and Argo brought out a new one that has the flatbed on the back that can carry 4 standard units, so I swapped out. If they fix the forks on the mule, I might go back to it. It takes up a little less space in the ship, and it basically has like tank steering, so it can turn on the spot. Yeah. This will be the one I was expecting to see down here. Oh, actually it's the other one, the Ironclad. So this is like the Caterpillar's much bigger, scarier brother. And you'll see it has that same offset cockpit design, or bridge section. Which means this one over here then has to be the... There she is. This hologram doesn't do it justice, this thing's a monster. Those doors there, hangars. That's an entire flight deck up there. And you should have bigger hangars on this side. Yep. Each of those little protrusions there, you would have an entire cutty, so Cutlass Black or red or blue, sitting on one of those with enough room to walk all the way around it. So those ships we looked at up front, they can all park on this. And then there's the actual like landing pad you can put on smaller ships. You've got the hangars there for Buccaneers and stuff. Buried in here, I think, it's like a sort of shop area, and I think there's supposed to be like a special bay on the back, I think, for holding the dragonflies that can whoosh out the back. But yeah, the Kraken has been released. That means one thing: there's no putting it back. This attack carrier has changed the way militias operate forever. And when it comes to personal defense, there's one thing you'd never want to be: falling behind. So this is it. Drake tried to sell themselves to the public as being the guy that makes ships for everybody that isn't the army. Whereas everybody else sort of sells to like the military first and then the like Joe public. So when you get the event earlier in the year that's like showing the military might, so it shows off the military ships, Drake does their own thing on a separate day because they're not allowed to go to that one because the military just doesn't deal with them. So they set up their own little thing in competition during that week. They call it Defence Con, and they show off like their ships. So it's sort of funny in-game lore. But yeah. So that'll be everything. Now I did say I'd maybe go back and have a look at the Corsair, so... I don't know if I'll do a full tour of the Corsair or maybe just have a quick look inside. Because it is a bit of a big ship. It was Hull 4, wasn't it? So we're on this one. Oh, that's access to Hull 1, yeah, that's why it's got that big one there. Right, could enter in multiple places, but I guess we'll go right to the rear and enter through the cargo ramp. Now there is an elevator on this that goes from the ground. It actually goes all the way up and out the top. So you can actually walk around on top of this one. No idea why. There's like literally no reason I can think of to do that. I'm assuming it's part of engineering gameplay. There must be something up there that you need access to. But as I said, engineering gameplay's a future patch that they haven't quite finished making yet. So this is the garage, or rear storage. And we've got everybody's least favourite room on this thing. It's just the donut. That's your engineering section. Got the docking collar here. And yep, then we've got the living quarters. So we've got a dining area, 3 bunks, and the loo. And then pop. So turret, and the bridge section. And the captain gets his little bunk on the bridge. So we've got the 2 seats up here. Your pilot, co-pilot, and then your 2 gunners there. So yeah, Drake ships tend to be this sort of very like missing panels and stuff. It's done on purpose. It's their way of showing that they don't do all the fancy stuff the like Origin, who we'll be looking at tomorrow, who are the like poshly ship manufacturer. But yeah, so this ship isn't as big on the inside as you would think. It's big enough, and you definitely, to get the best out of it, you do want a crew, because you want, you know, a couple of folk to at least run the turrets. But you look at the size of the guns on the turrets, and then look at the size of the guns the pilot gets to play with. Oh yeah, there's that lower seat there too, isn't there? But yeah. And then of course the pilot also has access to like all the guns on the wings. So I mean, this thing is no slouch in firepower. It can defend itself. Bearing in mind, pirates in lore like Drake ships, like this Corsair. So this is basically a pirate gunboat. But yeah, so that'll be the end of today's tour. I never noticed those lighting units are like little RC units. Oh, that's adorable, little tiny wheels. I never noticed that before. I never look at them. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes, end of video. So, thanks again for coming. As I say, it's Origin tomorrow. So a little heads up, we will be getting to see what is reputedly the biggest ship in game. I'm not 100% sure it is anymore now that we've got that new capital ship. We'll class it as the biggest civilian ship in the game, the 890 Jump. It's basically a massive cruise ship. And then there's got some of its littler siblings, so you can get like a private yacht and stuff. But that's the ships we'll get to see tomorrow. So I hope to see you there, and see you in the wilds.